When receiving a voicemail on iOS, the visual voicemail feature includes a transcription, and that transcription can be useful not only to give you a readable representation, whose accuracy, of course, will vary depending on sound conditions of the message, but also that transcription contains links. If there are references to dates and times and phone numbers, and these links can be quite useful because they enable you to take actions when you select those links. Those actions are context sensitive. For example, adding an appointment to your calendar on the date indicated, or calling or messaging a phone number in a voicemail transcript. And yes, you could say that usually the number from which the voicemail originated will show up anyway on the voicemail screen when you open the message, and so you can just select call back. But sometimes that's not always the case. Maybe the number will be a generic number and the person is giving you in the message their direct line or something like that. So it can still be quite useful. Let's take a look at one of such transcripts and see what we can do with some of these links. I'm going to open the phone app.
Phone, edit, button. Tab bar, selected. Voicemail, tab, 5 of 5.
I have my voicemail tab in focus, and I'm going to move to a voicemail which transcript has these types of links. For privacy reasons, I'm not going to show in the recording what the name is or most of the content other than what we are focusing on.
Voicemail, back button.
So what I did in the pause was to move down the list of my voicemails by, in this case, flicking to the right several times because it was closer to the top, but simply using standard iOS navigations, I found the voice message that I was looking for and I double tapped, and now we land on this screen. I'm going to flick to the right several times past the person's name and options such as callback and delete until we get to the transcription.
Delete button, call button, playback destination, transcription. Please give me a...
I stopped the speech there for the transcription. This voicemail is requesting a callback and giving a date and time when it was left. And so we have quite a few links here to explore. In order to find these links, I'm going to use my rotor and move to links. And when these links are available, they are generally at the end of the rotor cycle. If they're not available with a transcription, they won't be there. And so what I'm going to do to get to them more quickly is to rotor to the left several times.
Actions, links.
And there they are. This links item is to the left of the actions item. And of course, the actions item is also a dynamically appearing item, which appears on this screen regardless because actions are available here. But this links item is only appearing here because there are links to move through in this voicemail. So now if I flick up or down, I'm going to flick down. In this case, links is set in the rotor.
Tuesday night, 600-440.
I paused for privacy, the speech. But what we heard there was a date of Tuesday, a time, a 6:30, and a phone number. So, for example, if we chose this Tuesday date link,
6:15 Eastern Time, link. Tuesday night, link.
And if we double tapped,
Tuesday night. Add to calendar, button. Add to reminders, button. Show in calendar, button. Copy event, button. Dismiss context menu, button.
there we have a context menu of items. And so if we selected one of these, then we would see the screen to create either the event or the reminder to show the time in the calendar and so on. We'll double tap on this Dismiss Context menu.
Voicemail.
We're taken back up to the top of this screen, so I'm going to return to the transcription by flicking right several times. I found that touching near the center of the screen doesn't quite get me there.
Play, call, delete, transcription. Please.
And again, returning to links in the rotor.
Links.
We're going to flick down a few times. The time link would have presented similar options to the date link. We're going to go to the phone number.
604.
We see the phone number here. And if we repeatedly flick to the right, let's take a look at the context menu.
Call, video, message, email, call, video, message, copy, button, dismiss context menu, button.
It appears here that these options are showing twice. However, there are slight differences. The first set are going to activate those options. For example, calling would actually call using the phone, whereas with the second set of options, I'm seeing the ability to choose programs or options, like, for example, the messages. Instead of just being a button that would launch messages, as in the first section of this menu, it's collapsed. So I can pick, for example, messaging app of choice, Messages or WhatsApp or what have you. And so they're not quite duplicative. The second set does give you more options. But we see here these choices to call this number, to message this number, to copy this number, and so on. So if you wanted to call the number that was linked, you would simply double tap on the call option in this context menu, and you would be prompted to make that call. We will dismiss this context menu.
Voicemail, back button.
And then we can back out of this voicemail and proceed with using the phone. I hope that this is a helpful tip for you.